The advice and opinions expressed by the host of Autism Live and her guests are meant solely as suggestion and should not be in any way construed as child-specific advice. The Center for Autism and Related Disorders advises working with a board-certified behavior analyst who has experience with autism before starting any intensive behavioral intervention. Any choices you make in determining your child's treatment are completely at your own discretion.
Good morning and welcome to Autism Live. This is the last show of the year. I don't know how that happened. But we are here with you live, coming to you. By the way, I'm Shannon Penrod. We're live from the Warner Center in Woodland Hills, California. We're in Tower 1. This is the new home for the Center for Autism and Related Disorders headquarters. It's the new home for Autism Live. I'm going to stop saying that in the new year. In any case, we are going to be with you live, I think, for the next 2 hours. I just got a text from my son, and I don't know what it means. So I'm going to be split focus. You know that first and foremost, I am a parent, right? But in any case, we intend to be with you live for the next 2 hours talking about autism from a 360-degree perspective. We've got an exciting show planned for you. I want to remind you that everything that we do here is meant to be interactive. So Kelby's going to show you, oh, I got a text from my son. Oh dear. Okay, I'm going to get a phone call. In any case, we like to remind you that everything we do is interactive, and if the phone rings, I gotta go. So we might have to go abruptly to a break. And there it is. We're gonna take a short break, and then we're gonna be back with more Autism Live after these messages. Stick with us.
So we're going to do down dog next. So with down dog, there are several different ways that you can do it, and I want to show you first and then help you with yours so that we can work on what feels good for you, okay? All right, because there's no right way to do it. It's more about what your body likes, right? So for me, what I'm going to do is start off with my hands at the top of my mat, my headlights. My fingers are aiming towards the top of my mat, and then I'm going to tuck my toes. And then my head is also going to drop, and I'm going to look between my toes. Okay. And my body should be, or hopefully, like an A shape.
Or V.
Or V, yes.
Upside down V.
Yep. And so if your quads are tight or your hamstrings are tight, you might need to bend your knees a little bit.
Bend it to you.
Or if your shoulders are a little strained or a little tight, remember to push in through your feet. But also sometimes what feels really good is going down on your forearms like this. You can actually start out this way instead, it's a little easier. So your forearms rest on the floor. You still tuck your toes, and then you're still looking between your toes. But rather than being on your hands then, your weight's along your hands and your forearms. Okay? All right. So, now it's your turn. Okay. So, yep. You're going to do on your hands? Okay, yep. So your fingers are facing the front of the mat. Or are you doing forearms? Forearms? Okay, there we go. Wow, you're very bendy. Very nice. And your gaze is right here between your toes. Excellent. Very nice, Jem. Wow. Awesome. Feet are a nice distance apart. How does that feel?
Okay.
Awesome. You want to come down? Excellent. Good.
Skills is an online program that provides assessment, curriculum, positive behavior support planning for challenging behavior, and progress tracking, and it does this all in one place. The skills assessment and curriculum addresses 8 areas of development, which even includes advanced higher level areas such as executive functions and cognition, which pretty much makes skills the only ABA-based set of curricula for teaching more complex skills, things like problem solving, planning, self-management, perspective taking, and even inferring and predicting others' private events. Skills is a 4-step system. Step 1 is to add the child to your account. Step 2 is to start assessment. The skills assessment is the only ABA-based assessment with psychometric research demonstrating the language subscale to have excellent reliability. Every area of human functioning and typical child development from infancy to adolescence was researched, making the skills assessment the most comprehensive of its kind in the world, and we're quite proud of that.
Skills is easy to use. Simply click Start Assessment and begin answering questions. Or simply type in a keyword, find specific activities to assess, and add activities to treatment. Step 3. Choose activities. Once you've completed the assessment, Skills selects from a pool of 4,000 activities categorized by age, level, and skill type to provide you with exactly those activities each child needs. Start by choosing a curriculum, then a lesson, and finally an activity. Click the information icon to view prerequisites, ages in which targets develop, examples, and IEP goals. Click the video icon to watch a short video. Once you've identified an activity you want to teach, adding activities to treatment is a snap. Step 4. Start treatment. Here you can access customizable activity lesson details, add your own customized targets and exemplars, and edit an activity status such as introducing or mastering it. You can even print handouts such as worksheets, tracking forms, visual aids, and other materials. Skills also offers multiple progress charts mapping curriculum progress, lesson progress, and cumulative number of activities and targets mastered over time. The Skills language curriculum is categorized by verbal behavior type so that users can identify progress for verbal operants, such as echoics, mans, tacs, and interverbals.
Skills is one of the only programs that provides the ability to write behavior intervention plans, or BIPs, for challenging behavior.
With just a few clicks, the outline of the behavior intervention plan is written for you and ready to be printed and implemented.
You can learn more about Skills today and get started by visiting us at www.skillsforautism.com, or you can call us at 877-975-4559. Skills. Progress starts here.
Hi everyone! Thanksgiving is fast approaching, and we thought it'd be really fun to teach you a gluten-free stuffing recipe with help from Breads from Anna. Now this is a 2-day recipe, and so day 1 we're going to make this bread. Here's what you're going to need. 1 package of Breads from Anna bread mix, 1 packet of active dry yeast, 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/4 cup of oil, 1/2 cup of warm water, 1 teaspoon ground sage, thyme, rosemary, 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, and then a pinch of tarragon, onion powder, marjoram, and garlic powder. On day 2, when we put the stuffing together, here's what you'll be needing. 6 tablespoons of butter, 1/2 bulb of fennel, 1 chopped onion, 2 chopped carrots, 1/2 cup of gluten-free chicken broth, 1 teaspoon of ground sage, thyme, and 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and pepper. All right, step 1, we're gonna dissolve our sugar into our water. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our active yeast. We're gonna dissolve all these together. So we're gonna just set this aside. Now we're gonna take our bread mix right on over to our mixer. So first things first, we're gonna put all our liquids together before we add in our dry bread mix. We're putting in 3 eggs, our oil, apple cider vinegar, water, and our water, yeast, sugar mixture. We're gonna blend these all together. So once our liquids are all mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and add our bread mix. We're also going to add all of our spices now. Okay, now that our bread's been mixed, we're going to spoon this into a bread dish and we're going to let it rise for about an hour. Okay, so now that we've let this rise for about an hour, we're going to bake it at 375 for another hour. All right, It's been an hour, so let's grab our bread out of the oven. We're gonna let this cool for a little bit, and then we're gonna actually cube the bread, and we're gonna toast it in the oven just a little bit longer to dry it out so that when we add it to the vegetables, it'll make a really great stuffing. So as you can see, we've toasted our little breads here in the oven, and now what we're gonna do is saute some of these vegetables so that we can mix it in with the bread and make our final stuffing combination. So we'll start with the butter. So we're gonna start with our onions so that we can make sure these are good and cooked before we add the other vegetables. They cook a little bit longer. Okay, those are looking pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and add our fennel, our carrots, our garlic, and then all our spices. So you're gonna wanna cook this until the carrots especially are nice and soft. Our vegetables are pretty soft here, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and mix this with our bread. We're also gonna go ahead now and add our half a cup of broth. So once these are mixed together, we're gonna go ahead and pour it into our greased baking dish, and we're gonna bake it an additional 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay, I think it's ready. La, la, la. All right, and we can add a little garnish here. Perfect, and it's ready for Thanksgiving dinner. To learn how you can win some breads from Anna, go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/autism-live. Until next time, happy holidays.
Welcome back. Well, it's a really fascinating morning already, you know how what it is when you have phone calls from kids at school, and it is what it is, right? In any case, before we were interrupted, we were talking about the fact that this show is interactive. We want to hear from you. Kelby was about to show you some of the different ways that you could converse with us, and I'll remind you that our homepage is autism-live.com. When you go there, much to do. Please sign up for our free email. You'll get the free newsletter and you'll get the weekly viewer guide. You'll also on that page, you can be taking a look at the blog. We're going to try to get some Christmas cookie recipes up. We have some from last year. If you scroll down, you won't have to scroll down far. I don't blog as much as I need to. Self-shame. But in any case, you can watch the live show on the homepage. All you have to do is click on the little triangle on the computer screen and you can be watching the live show. Or you can click on the playlist. It looks like a memo button up in the upper left-hand corner, and you can cycle back through the last 100 shows that we've done live, which is a really fun thing. You can pause, rewind, fast forward when I'm being boring, because heaven knows that I can be. All of those things. Now, if you want to go back further than 100 episodes, you can find us on our YouTube page. But to the side of all that, there's what we call the live feature. There's a series of white boxes. There's one that says your question. If you put your cursor there, start typing, hit enter, and it will show up magically on my screen. You and I can have a conversation, but more importantly, you can have a conversation with our wonderful experts that we have on the show. I am not one of those experts, just to be clear about that. All right, we need to move this along because we're running late already, but we always have, we like to cover something called the jargon of the day. This take on one word, one phrase, one acronym, and we try to make sense of what does that mean to us and how can that help us on our journey to get to more progress. Because honestly, that's from beginning to end, that's what this show is about, is helping us all be supported so that we can get to the progress that is important to us, right? So today's jargon term is pragmatic language. I like my Carol Merrill thing here. Am I doing it to the right side? I'm not even. It's got to be to this side now. It used to be the other way. In any case, pragmatic language. So let's take a look at what our actual definition for pragmatic language is. Pragmatics refers to the social language skills we use in our daily interactions with others. Okay, here's the thing about pragmatic language. People throw this term around all the time, and then you look it up and you go, oh, the social language, okay, but what does that actually mean? So let's move on to our working definition. Using language, changing language, and following social language rules. That's what pragmatics is. So if you think about it, when a school teacher says, or a school official says, well, we want to work on pragmatics with your child, that means we want them to be using language. We want them to request things. We want them, when somebody says, can you move over one seat, for them to be able to understand what that means, right? But we don't want people to just have this, language is very fluid, right? We don't want people to just be able to explain something one way. And there are a lot of people that need pragmatics, a lot of people in customer service. Have you ever gone to a store and you say to someone, I was asking once at a store, I said, it was like the time of year where the patio things would be almost gone or gone. And I said, I don't see any patio sets. Do you have them? And the worker said to me, oh, we probably put them on. And she used some term that was from her store. So she said, oh, we probably put them on Wabash something, something, right? And I said, okay, I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you do have patio sets or you don't have patio sets? I'm not understanding it, right? And what she needed to do was change her language from an intense jargon thing, right, to something that somebody walking in who never worked at that store would understand. But she didn't know how to. And she said, well, we put them on Wabash. And I said, yes, I don't understand what that means. Can you tell it to me in another way? And she said, well, it was on Wabash. And I said, are there, I couldn't communicate with her. We couldn't get past it. Sometimes our kids on the autism spectrum are that way too. They need to consider their audience and change their language for that audience. They need to consider the location. They need to be able, when they're in a library, to whisper instead of yelling things, right? So they have to change what they say and how they say, depending on who's listening and what they're trying to convey. And then they have to be able to follow social rules, like I say something, you say something. You ask me a question, I answer the question, and then I ask you a question, right? That's what pragmatic language is. Using language, changing language, and following the social rules that come with that language. That's what we're trying to teach our kids so that they can be understood in all places. I don't know about you, but that definition makes me happy, because then I go, oh, we're using language, changing language, and following the social rules of it. Yippee. That's pragmatic language. We always have a question of the day. Our question for you today is, what are, ready for this? Your New Year's resolutions. I know it's early, but next week, that's all anybody's going to be talking about. So we're doing it a week and 2 days early. Once Christmas is over, that's all that's happening. And I think it's good to think about what your New Year's resolutions are. I'm still thinking about it, but I have to be honest that one of the biggest things, I've got two on my plate that I have got to get more physically active and stop making jokes about the fact that I'm not. I said that earlier in the year to Kelby. I'm doing that this year. It has to happen. And I want to spend more time writing. And I do think that when we say these things out loud, that it puts an expectation on us that we're making ourselves accountable. So if I have to physically move and get more physically in shape, and I've promised you guys that we're going to do some shows on this, because I know I'm not alone in this. We could all be more physically fit. For me, there's such a gap that I could do almost anything and it'd be like, woohoo, that's an improvement. Now see, I just made fun of it again, and I'm going to stop doing that too. But I seriously want to do more writing. I want to do more blogging. I've got many things that are almost done that aren't done that I need to get after. But what are you guys going to do? New Year's resolutions. All right, we're hurrying this along because we're so far behind. We always have a topic of the week, and our topic this week has been learning to learn. When we get excited about learning, when we learn officially how to learn something, there's nothing that could stop us. So it's a very exciting thing. Now, some of the different things that we're going to be doing here, because it's our last show of the year, we wanted to play some clips that are some of our best clips of the year, but I've put us hopelessly behind. We're going to have time for a little bit of autism news. And then in our second hour today, Dina Kimmel is going to be here from We Rock the Spectrum. We just love her. What an amazing autism mom and entrepreneur she is, and doing something for our community that's amazing. She's hosting our Sensitive Santa event on Sunday at one of her We Rock the Spectrums, and we're so grateful to her for that. She's going to bring Carly Moreno with us, and I didn't get a chance to meet Carly the other day. She was at the Orange County Autism Speaks walk. She's an amazing artist. She is the singer behind the new We Rock the Spectrum song, and there's a music video. It's all going to be good. So we're going to be talking with both of them in the next hour. But first, we want to start playing some clips, some of our best things from the year. And what else could we start with but driving Dr. Grandin? So take a look, one of our finest moments. I got to do the U-turn around the thing? Okay. So, Kelby, do I want the north entry or the south, or does it matter? Okay. Are we doing curbside bag check? Which way, Kelby? Left? Yeah. Kelby, can I go through the T? Yeah, I have a toll tag.
Then you go through the T.
Okay. What do you do that, like, you could just spend 2 hours doing and have it suck all your time?
Oh, I like to look up interesting research articles on animal behavior. Found a really interesting European papers on how wolves are different than dogs that I read last week that were very, very interesting.
Very cool.
Because I've always talked about a brain can be more social emotional or a brain can be more cognitive.
Yeah.
And the wolf turns out to be more cognitive, and we've bred the dog to be more social emotional.
How fascinating is that?
Very, very interesting. The wolves were very good at watching another wolf solve a problem.
We were talking a little bit about television before, and I cannot believe that what you said to me, what you like to watch on television.
Star Trek. I was a Star Trek fan when I was a teenager. I liked the Star Trek Next Generation. I was watching that when I was working on my PhD in the 80s.
And so
Total Star Trek fan.
what's your favorite series, and what's your favorite character, and what's your favorite
Mr.
episode?
Spock was my favorite character.
Love it. And what's favorite episode? This guy is going to hate me.
There was a lot of good. My favorite Star Trek movie was the one with the whales.
Yes,
Yeah, I really
mine
liked
too.
that Star Trek movie.
And so sad that we lost Leonard Nimoy this year.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that you like to watch television. Do you like to go to the movies too?
Oh yes, I went and saw Gravity. There's certain movies that have to be seen in a theater, like
Yeah.
Gravity and Avatar.
Yes.
I wanted to see Inside Out in the theater. I really liked that movie.
What did you think of that?
I liked it. I think about how the emotions interact.
I gotta be honest, I had said after that I thought that it was gonna be a great tool for people to show kids on the autism spectrum about perspective taking,
Yeah.
about what it's like in other people's heads.
Well, no, it's more like how the emotions inside your own head sort of conflict with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I love The Wizard of Oz, and I love the idea of the ruby slippers. She had the way back home. She just didn't know she had it.
Yeah.
You see, and I think that's a metaphor for a lot of things. A lot of people have the ruby slippers, but they don't know they have them. They don't know they got the key that can open up the door to a lot of really great stuff.
So what would you say was your ruby slipper?
Well, I had, when some opportunities came up, like when I designed those dip vats, that was a major breakthrough for my business. And when the head of the feed yard came up to me and asked me if I'd do it, I said, give me 3 weeks. You know, a lot of people would have been too scared to walk through the door. Now this is pre-internet, and I knew it would take me 3 weeks to get some of the information I needed, especially on concrete reinforcement, to design the dip vats.
But you did it.
I did it. I was on the phone the next day to the USDA to get the drawings on the concrete reinforcement.
Wow. So I want to journey back to childhood for just a second and talk about friends, because a lot of times people ask about friends. Who was your best friend?
When I was in elementary school, one of my best friends was a girl named Eleanor. And she was the first girl in elementary school to get to take wood shop instead of cooking. And I was the second girl in our school to get to take wood shop. So we like to make stuff. It's all about making stuff. And I had good friends in high school. Even though I got bullied and teased, I got friends who shared interests. Riding horses together, doing electronics together, doing model rockets together, doing stuff together with other students.
So you found, like your mom says about, you found your tribe.
Yeah, and you've got to get them in doing things with other people.
And you did a lot of theater, and did you sing as a kid?
Yeah, I did. One of the problems I was singing is I couldn't synchronize my rhythm with somebody else's rhythm.
Do you still have a hard time doing that?
I still have a hard time doing that.
Because we were going to ask you if you wanted to sing something in the car with us.
Well, I think maybe we'll skip that.
Great question. But the one question people always ask us is they want to know if you've ever been in love.
No, never have.
And you don't feel like you're missing anything.
I've seen so much turmoil in so many marriages that I haven't really seen a situation that would be a good model.
And yet you gave me really good marriage advice.
Because I'm a good problem solver. You have to take the problem and cut it down. And in engineering, you have to find the root cause of a problem.
What do you think is your secret to your success as a teacher?
Well, presenting things really clearly.
Yeah.
That's really important. Making things interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's also important that it's something in a class that a student can take home and use. I teach a class in cattle behavior and handling, and I've got a lot of students that are pre-vet that are going to go in the dog and cat. Probably won't be handling any cattle. But I said, you want to design this corral system because it's visual problem solving. You have to figure out how to do it. It's not a cookbook. And then I have my internet project where they can pick out anything in animal behavior, and I make them dig into a narrow subject that I have to approve because I want them digging into Google Scholar and PubMed, Science Direct, and the other databases. They got to learn how to find stuff online, and I'm finding about 2/3 of the students are not very good at that. How about this? Make Magazine. This is the kind of thing that a lot of kids on the spectrum need to be doing. The cool stuff in here. Really
Make Magazine is going to love that you
Make
did that.
Magazine. It's a wonderful magazine. And I'm okay. Yes, and they're resurrecting old satellites from mission control and an abandoned McDonald's. That's the kind of stuff I really like. These are the kind of magazines we need to get into school. Make Magazine, Business Week, Science, Nature, Wired. We got to show kids out there. There's all kinds of super interesting stuff out there.
Open
but
up
if
the
they don't see it, then they don't know about it.
The
I
other
like
night.
to geek out on construction sites.
Yeah?
I like to salivate over all the equipment they've got that we didn't have, like really cool man lifts and nice scaffolding. We didn't have any of that stuff.
You didn't.
No, we didn't.
What did you guys have?
Horrid,
A compass?
Horrid ladders that were really dangerous is what we had.
I'm going to pull up right here. Okay. We're going to get your stuff out. Yep. Put your back up. Oh. We have to get the mic back from you too. Oh, you took it off already. You're good. I'm attached to mine. Welcome back. That was so much fun. What a wonderful opportunity to get to spend some time with Temple Grandin, and we really enjoyed it. And I want to thank Kelby. He did a great job of editing that all together. I love the beginning. I'm like, Kelby, Kelby, that's kind of Kelby's life. Kelby, do I do this? Kelby, do I need to turn this way? Kelby, thank God for Kelby. That's all I have to say. All right, next we're moving on to Dr. Stephen Shore. This is a great interview that we did with him back in, I believe it was April or May, when he told us about self-disclosure. So take a look, Dr. Stephen Shore. Let's talk a little bit about Ask and Tell and the idea of self-advocacy. Tell us a little bit about the book first, and then I'd really love to get your opinion about a couple of different things that, as I was saying during the break, people tend to have very strong opinions about self-advocacy and disclosure. So let's start with the book. Tell us about what's in that book.
Oh, sure. Well, the genesis of the book was that I had noticed that there was no education and very little even conversation about self-advocacy for people on the autism spectrum. So as a result, I convened a number of self-advocates, all on the autism spectrum, and we held an entire day pre-conference at an Autism Society of America conference. And the preparation for that pre-conference was to form the foundation of the people who were involved in this workshop. It formed the foundation for their contributions to the book. So what the book is 6 people, all on the autism spectrum, who give their take on the importance of self-advocacy and how it can be done effectively.
Okay. So, and you were mentioning that self-advocacy and disclosure, if you're advocating for yourself, just the sheer process of doing that, you're disclosing your diagnosis. So how do you feel about first disclosure? Do you feel like it's something, how has it been in your life? Do you disclose to people? When do you disclose? How do you do that? And how have you found it to be?
Yes, well, these are very important questions. And in order to properly advocate for oneself, one has to know how autism affects you as an individual. So that means building a foundation of, you might say, disclosure to the individual that they do have autism, and this is what it means to them, this is how it affects them. Once there is this understanding, the person on the autism spectrum is now empowered to engage in a 3-step process for advocacy. And the first step is what might be called scanning the environment. So in other words, where in the environment do you see potential challenges? So for example, myself, a challenge for me is recessed lighting, sometimes known as down light. So the lights that are recessed in the ceiling and they point down. Standing or sitting under one of these lights is like looking into a spotlight probably for most other people. So one, I keep aware of where these lights are and try to keep away from them. However, sometimes that's not always possible. And then comes the second step, which is the advocacy effort. So, for example, I might say to my supervisor, these lights are really bright. I wonder if I might wear a hat at work. Or if I'm sitting with a friend at a restaurant, I wonder if we might be able to change seats at the table or perhaps move to another table. So the advocacy effort has to be done in a way that somebody else can understand and provide support. And then the third step is the disclosure piece, because if you're going to ask for greater mutual understanding, if you're asking for a modification in the environment, you have to provide a reason why. And therein comes the choice of a full disclosure or a partial disclosure. So most of the time I would go for a partial disclosure and say, I have really sensitive eyes, these lights give me a headache, rather than going for the entire diagnosis, which would be a full disclosure. So often the question comes, when is it appropriate to advocate and disclose? And I believe that if the effect of having autism, such as the visual sensitivity that I just talked about, significantly impacts a situation or a relationship, then it is time to consider developing a plan for advocacy. If it doesn't affect the situation, then there's no reason to disclose or to advocate.
Well, it's all sounds so much easier when you put it that way. And I know, and I think your examples were just really wonderful, Dr. Shore. I think when a lot of us hear the term self-advocates, it has started to come to mean individuals, and it shouldn't, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but I think sometimes it now comes with this stigma of the fact that it's individuals who are not always advocates for therapies. And I see this happening in the autism community, and I'm really concerned about it as a parent because my son's growing. He's 11 and a half now, and I know that already he's starting to say to me, Mom, you know, when you talk about this, I would rather you talk about it in these terms, and I want to hear that. Who better to tell me how I should be talking about autism than individuals who are on the autism spectrum? And I really feel very passionately that we need to honor our self-advocates, but I feel like the community is getting into this place where it feels like we're at odds on a regular basis. And I wonder if you see that happening as well, and if you have any words of wisdom for the parents so that we can get on a page where we're more accepting of what our advocates are telling us.
Oh, sure. I think sometimes what is important to make sure that we remember is that for those of us who are on the spectrum, for those of us who are parents, educators, doctors, therapists, or anybody involved in supporting a person with autism, I think everybody can agree that we want to reduce suffering.
Yes.
And so, for example, if a person with autism has such sensory issues that they cannot bear to remain in their skin, that person cannot attend most classes at a university, they cannot go into a supermarket, they cannot engage in many of the activities of life, then something needs to be done about that. Another example, we have many people on the spectrum who have such gastrointestinal issues that nothing's going to happen until we fix that. And it's not fixing the person with autism, because the person with autism isn't broken, but it might be addressing something that relates to the digestive system. It might be adjusting the sensory system through occupational therapy. And the goal is of intervention, whether it's sensory, whether it's educational, whether it's biomedical, is to help the person be the best person on the autism spectrum that they can be. Because autism is here to stay. It's not something that can be removed or eliminated or cured. I don't think it's even a good idea to do that. But what we do need to do is help people be as productive and successful and lead meaningful lives as possible as a person on the autism spectrum.
I can't agree more. I want to go back to something you said, though, because I think it's where the heart of the controversy is. That the idea of being able to help an individual with symptoms that they're having versus eradicating the autism. And I think certainly as a parent, it's taken me a lot of years to understand the difference between the two. That when your child is throwing themselves on the floor and hitting themselves on the kitchen floor, and a doctor says to you, well, your child has autism, I think you immediately go to the place of, oh, my son is hitting his head against the kitchen floor because of the autism. It took me probably 3 years to figure out, no, the autism wasn't making him hit his head against the floor. His frustration due to some of the things that were happening that he didn't know, that was partially because the autism was preventing him from learning things in the way that we were teaching it. Not that he couldn't learn it, but that we were teaching it in a way that he couldn't get it. That frustration was making him hit the floor. But that took me 3 years to get to. And I think a lot of parents are still on that space where they're thinking, my child is behaving in this way that's causing suffering because of the autism. As somebody who teaches about autism, what do you want to say to those parents?
Well, I think the thing we need to do is to do what we can to understand autism, understand how autism affects people, talking to those of us on the autism spectrum for firsthand experience, and to do what we can to help that person with autism lead a fulfilling and productive life. The potential of people with autism is just like the potential of everybody else. It's unlimited.
Yeah. And I know we're pre-taping this segment, so parents aren't able to write in and ask questions, but I know that somebody would want to ask of you, Dr. Shore, because we see you as parents and we go, oh, look at how wonderful your life appears to be. But they're going to want to know, are you happy? Do you have a full life? Do you feel like you're being held back in any way because of autism?
Yeah, well, those are very good questions. I feel that I lead a fulfilling and productive life. I'm married to a wonderful woman, and we are going to celebrate our 25th anniversary in the next month or two. I enjoy what I'm doing, and that is teaching about autism. And sure, there are still challenges of autism that I face today, some of them relating to sensory issues, others such as difficulty in remembering faces, which can be a challenge, especially as a college professor where it's a good idea to know who your students are. And sometimes dealing with subtle social situations such as office politics or mixed messages in general. So the challenges of autism do remain, and I think one of the important keys to achieving a fulfilling and productive life is to remain in your areas of strength. And that probably holds for everybody, whether they have autism or not.
Well, Dr. Shore, again, I think you were so worthy of getting one of the most 10 inspirational people in the last 10 years on the autism spectrum. You inspire us. I can't wait for our audience to be able to see this interview. There will probably be some questions afterwards. Would it be okay if there were questions if I forward those to you?
Yeah, you can certainly forward the questions to me, or they're welcome to email me through my website.
And let's tell them what the website is again.
Okay, one more time for the website. It's www.autismasperger.net. And if you forget, then the URL to the website, if you type in my name, Stephen Shore, that's spelled with a PH, and the word autism after it, then my website will pop up pretty quickly on Google. And likewise, if you do the same on YouTube, there's a number of videos.
Wonderful. And we should mention that people can get the DVD or any of the books by going to that site as well, and that you are available as a speaker if somebody wants to book you for their organization.
I am Alexis Weinman at the Future Horizons Super Conference in Dallas, Texas. It helped me in a way because it was a format that I was not used to. Like, I had never curled my hair before. I've never worn heels. I didn't know what foundation was. And it was just, it was a very, like, it helped me more in a business sense. Like, I know how to present myself in front of people now. That's something my mom drilled into my head. I have trouble sometimes with it. Like, you introduced yourself to me downstairs, and so I immediately, like, and I've heard of you before, so I was like, I know this person, I can make eye contact with this person. And if I'm talking to someone I don't know, or if I'm listening to someone give a speech, most of the time my head will be down. I don't look at people in the eye, but if it's someone I know I need to make eye contact with, I make eye contact. But my mom growing up, she, especially after the diagnosis, she would always like grab my hand if I was like, you know, looking everywhere else but her, and she'd like say, look me in the eye. And so she wouldn't let go of my hand until I looked her in the eye. I do feel like I have to do play part because, you know, sometimes there'll be jokes I don't understand, but I'll laugh at anyway. There will be situations that I'm not comfortable with, but I'm gonna have to play along anyway. And I think I just found out, like, I'm just a tremendously amazing liar. Like, I can pretend like I'm uncomfortable with something when in actuality I am screaming inside, or I know the moment I get back to my dorm room I'm gonna start screaming. Having a meltdown or something like that. But I also know that there is a time and a place because there isn't any safe rooms available in neurotypical society. Like, we have to make our own. And you know, on a college campus, there's not many places you can go and scream without attracting attention. The way I explain it to people is, you know, people's brains like hamster wheels. Eventually the hamster's got to take a break. Autistic brains aren't like that. They just keep going and going and going. So we can't stop thinking about things. There's like, that's why a lot of kids with autism have sleep problems, because they can't fall asleep because they have too much on their brain. They can't sleep because they're thinking too much. And I think just the walking in circles, there's no thought to a circle. Like, it's just, like, so I'll just plug in my earphones so I can't hear anything else except whatever white noise I'm listening to, and I'll just walk in a circle. I think it's just like we are just as prevalent as men with autism. There might not be as many as there are boys, but we are still part of this movement. We're still part of this community, and we just got to remind people that, hey, you know, we're here too. You know, don't forget about us. One thing I've learned is that, first off, I'm not the only person who is speaking from their own perspective. Like, I feel like I go to some of these conferences and it's a bunch of doctors and a bunch of parents who want to talk and get to know what autism is about, but there's not a lot of people on the spectrum talking about it. And so I come to these and I see Temple Grandin, who's one of the biggest faces in the autism community, actually get up and talk about what helped her and what we need to do in order to get our kids out of society and not in our parents' basements. And so it's just kind of reaffirming, like, I'm not the only one. Thank you. Because I'd go to these and I would be the only one. I'd be next to a bunch of doctors and talking about words I have not even seen before, let alone pronounce. And I'm just sitting here like, I did a pageant once. So it's good to know, like, I'm speaking from a perspective of not necessarily overcoming, but learning to live with this, because I feel like not a lot of people come out and say what it's like to live on the autism spectrum. A lot of people talk about the struggles and everything like that, but they don't talk about, what they've done to make their lives better while living on the spectrum.
So, James, you've spoken so much about your challenges and on Idol. That was a lot of your backstory, obviously, and so inspirational. How difficult was it for you? You talked about the fact that you were bullied when you were, at what age were you bullied?
Every age.
Every age, okay.
Yeah.
How did you jump that hurdle from being in school and being bullied, and at that time probably, autism was not at all really as understood as it is now, to becoming confident enough to apply, to compete on Idol, to become a father. Was that a process, or was there one kind of key philosophy you kept in your head?
I don't remember exactly when it was. That's a great question.
Thank you. It was a little long-winded.
No, it's great though. It keeps this autistic brain of mine thinking and working in ways that I don't know how it does. But I think that I can't pin it to one specific exact moment that I can remember, but at some point I started realizing that I'm not being bullied because of something that I lack. I'm being bullied because there's something that I have that nobody else has. If you you can turn a negative into a positive anyway. And I think that at whatever point it was that I just started telling myself that this is all happening to me for a reason. And I've figured it out because it makes me stronger, and for whatever reason that I need to be stronger in my life than the people that are doing the picking and the bullying and the pestering and everything and the throwing bottles and rocks and everything. Like it wasn't fun. It definitely wasn't fun.
Did somebody help you to figure that out though, James, or did you come to that all on your own?
I think I just came to it on my own at some point. It was high school, and then I just realized I'm not. If people don't like me for who I am, I don't need to change for other people.
It's such a profound, insight. And usually people bully what they don't know.
Exactly. So at that point, to kind of cope with it, I guess I developed a higher or more condensed version of my personality and kind of turned it up to 11 at that point. And instead of just being James, the guy that walks through the hallways and gets, water bottles thrown at his head for no reason just because he's different, makes faces and stuff, I became Crazy James. And instead, if someone wanted to throw a bottle at my head, I'd turn around and I'd be like, I wouldn't turn it into confrontation, but somehow like in a way that a comedian does. A comedian takes what they're given by other people and turns it back on them and says like, you're trying to put negative energy at me, but I can find a positive in it.
Yeah. How about the fact that they all peaked in high school and you're on American Idol?
I say that too.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's a pretty good,
Tom, I know we've talked about this before, but how old were you when you were diagnosed?
15.
15.
15, about to turn, very close to turning 60. 15 or 16, but.
And when you were diagnosed, as soon as you were diagnosed, did they disclose to you that that's what the diagnosis was, or did your family?
Yeah, I was in the room with my mum.
You know, so often parents ask us about disclosing, especially to a teenager. I wonder if you could give us any insight into what you think, what that was like for you, and what you think parents should consider when they're thinking of disclosing.
My opinion is on me. If I was a parent, I would have told my child as soon as they were diagnosed, even if even if they were 3 years old, 4 years old, or even 36 or 16. I would have told them straight away. But obviously it's very different for me because I've embraced it and I'm very much in love with the fact that I'm autistic. But I suppose it's difficult for a parent to talk about, to disclose it when they don't understand it themselves, because to them it could be a whole new world to them, what they've just been thrown into. So to sit down and explain it to your child when you don't understand it, I think it's probably not going to do anyone any favours.
Right.
But I think if, as a parent, if the child's young, definitely explain it as soon as you can. But please go away and understand it, because I'd hate for you. I'm just very funny about how people explain autism, but I really think they should go into the community, talk about it, because there's plenty of people who can give them amazing advice.
And you're one of them, quite frankly. If a parent is thinking of sitting down with their 14-year-old, let's say, and letting them know, you would be somebody that they could say, here's somebody that you can look to see what this is like. What would you say to a 14-year-old if somebody referred them to you that's just been told you're on the autism spectrum? What would you tell them?
I'd probably say, welcome to the club. And I'd probably be, do you know what? It doesn't change anything. You are still the same person, so don't worry about it. What you're going to get from finding that out is answers, not more questions. So don't worry. And I think that's probably, it's just about reassurance at that age.
Wonderful.
Because I think it's difficult being 14, even if you're autistic or not. But
yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to be, just to be like, it's okay, it's not going to hurt you, you're absolutely fine. Everyone here is with you. You're going to get lots of answers. You're going to start learning a lot about yourself, and within a few weeks you're going to feel good as new and feel brilliant. Honestly, just be. It doesn't do it. I don't think it. For me, it didn't change anything when I found out. I mean, I was really naive, and when I was told, I literally said to my mum, "Sorry, Asperger's syndrome. Is it going to kill me?" I said to my mum, that's the first thing I said, and she said, "No, you're fine." I said, "Oh, okay," and that's how it was for me. So I think it's just about reassurance, and just constant reassurance, and just reminding them that actually nothing's changed. You're still the same wonderful person. You've just found out something new about yourself, but it's okay, because you're going to learn a lot more about yourself, and it's all positive. I think it's just the way it needs. That's how you can help people. That's what I'd probably do.
Great, wonderful advice. I'm wondering, Tom, when you meet new people and you're hanging out with somebody, is there a moment at which it comes up in conversation? Do you make it come up in conversation? How and when do you let people know?
Sorry about the phone. It just I don't. To be honest with you, a lot of people, I'm not bothered. It'll just come up. If it comes up, I'm happy to talk about it. Apologies.
That's okay.
I will tell anyone that I'm autistic. I am not ashamed of it. I am not bothered about being autistic. I'm proud of it. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's no, but I will. The thing is, I've got T-shirts now, as you can see. Gone corporate, so I tend to wear these T-shirts all the time. So it comes up in conversation quite a lot, because I don't go anywhere without these T-shirts on anymore. Because I'm absolutely amazed by how well the page and the YouTube channel's doing. And I just wear this all the time, and I'm always talking about it, always.
It's interesting because, my son was diagnosed at 2.5, and we started talking about autism when he was 2.5, and always putting it in a positive way. And he's very proud of who he is, and and he has a complete understanding of the fact that he's on the spectrum and what that means, and he knows that we love every single aspect of him. He just recently started a new school, so he's 12, and he's got a new friend that he's been hanging out with, and they're just doing everything together. And it occurred to me the other day, I said to him, I said, have you said anything to your friend about the fact, have you guys had that conversation? He said, oh, no, Mom, it hasn't come up in conversation. But I found myself wondering, what is that going to be like for him his whole life? So for you, it's just a non-thing. It's just like, oh, and by the way, I live on this and so street.
Yeah.
It just comes up when it comes up.
When I was younger, I didn't talk about it that much because I didn't really understand it. It was kind of like when I was 15, 16, I didn't really talk about it. Not because I was ashamed or I didn't like it. I just didn't get it. So there was no reason for me to talk about it. All I knew that I had another friend that was autistic that I didn't know as well. So I kind of knew that, and that was kind of it. Then when I got to about the age of 18, and I started to learn more about myself at college, and I got asked to do some talks, and did some talks, and then started learning about myself through talking about it, about me. And then the more I did it, the more I got interested. So I kind of became interested that way, and that's why I started talking about it more, because I grew a much bigger understanding.
Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, and we're at the ABCs and XYZs of Special Needs Conference. And this year, for the first time, they've got something really remarkable. It's the Entrepreneurial Boutique. These are all items that have been made and are being sold by individuals who have special needs. So we're going to do a little shopping and talk to some of these fabulous entrepreneurs. Come on.
My name is Molly Rarick, and I'm founder of Breed's Gift. We're a nonprofit that serves teens and adults with special needs, like Chase here. We were founded in 2013 and serve people in the Conejo Valley, Santa Barbara, and LA.
Our main objective is to give our participants the skills they need to gain a more independent life.
My name is Shelley Cox, and Lisa Zalagi and I are founders of Creative Steps and Create Micro Business Enterprises. And the items that we're selling here today are all made by the clients who have passions about what they want to make, and then they get the profits from what they make after we've paid all of the other expenses.
We are here today because my goal is to be independent, and also I would like to share all my artwork, and I would like to sell.
Thinking about at his young age being a businessman, it's amazing. I cannot be more proud.
Mid-swing on this wonderful day, this wonderful walk with Mr. Matt Asner. Talk to us about today's walk. Do we have any facts, figures, numbers, or just pure emotion?
Just pure emotion. I'm about to get the numbers. We'll see what it is. Okay. I think it's probably close to 1.6, probably. That's my feeling. But it's incredible. We had 55,000 people plus here today, and honestly, I've been here 7 years. It gets better and better and better. So.
And really what you fostered here today is hope. I know that's your favorite four-letter word.
Where are we without hope?
Where are we?
Really, I mean, seriously, where are we without hope? Hope is everything. Hope is eternal.
This is a pretty big event. Every year I love it. What does this event mean to you?
Well, I just think it's great that you see so many people coming out to support, autism.
So So we're here with Max Burkholder. There's a whole community of people that are going to love you no matter what you do, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. And that's the autism community. Are you okay with this? Is this a good thing?
I'm pretty okay with it. This seems to be a pretty happy, supportive community.
Well, what did you learn about autism through portraying this wonderful character?
Sort of the individuality of it. You know, like with autism spectrum disorders, a tendency is to sort of generalize everybody with sort of the same degree of affliction as sort of exactly the same, and very, very generalize them a lot. But something I found while just talking to everybody, and that I tried to put into the characters, just the sense of individuality that all of them have, everybody has. And so at a certain point it became not really even portraying autism, it just sort of became portraying the character.
I want to thank you on behalf of everybody for what you do.
That's very sweet.
To bring awareness and to raise money. That's a tremendous, tremendous legacy. But as a dad, you've got other things that you're doing as well.
Yeah.
I want to know, as a family, if you have any advice, what's been something that's been helpful to you personally?
You know, get your autistic kids out in the community. I mean, my son's got a guide dog, so he goes to a lot of cool places. He surfs, he skis, does gymnastics. He's actually trying Hebrew school. I'm not quite sure if he knows what's happening there, but he does all kinds of cool things, and he has a lot of friends. Right now, most of his friends are the adults who take care of him, and over time, hopefully he'll have more friends who are his age, and you'll see him walking around, and people won't be nervous around him. The dog's been very helpful with that. It's like the dog is like the most infectious thing in the world. Like, everybody wants to be near the dog, and he sees that, and he gets some of that affection laid onto him. So as a family, you know, we're just there to support Tyler and make him happy.
My name is Jack Riley.
I know a cute little blue-eyed boy, and his name is Jack. Jack Riley. He got a big, warm, blue-eyed soul that makes your heart beat fast. Exciting. I say Jack, Jack, Jack is my buddy. Jack, Jack, Jack is my buddy. Everybody around is so down with Jack.
So Jack Riley, how old are you?
6.
Are you in first grade?
No, it's going to be first grade though.
So what are you in now?
I'm going 0th grade.
You're what do you call 0th grade?
Kindergarten.
The A word.
I think that word was far worse than we ever expected.
Yeah, I remember I kicked the garbage can when we were outside. My foot hurt. I remember that. That wasn't a very good day.
Say, yeah, there we go. Good job.
Green or orange?
What is it?
What's your dad's name?
White.
It's I guess it's a pretty good example of what it could look like. I mean, there's struggles for all kids, but the fact that they were, Cheryl and Mike were so great, you know, taking in our parent training and utilizing the tools that we gave them, and being on board with us, and being consistent. I feel like consistency is so important, because sometimes I know when parents come home, it's just easier for them to just give the child whatever it is that they need, because they've had therapy all day. But consistency, I feel, is so important, and that's, you know, how you get over
you know, their behaviors, their difficulties, and yeah. So yeah, consistency is key, and it's obviously worked for them.
Like that, okay? Ready? You can do it. 1, 2, 3. Yay! Good job!
Good job, Jack. We adore him, so whether you do the right thing because of that, you're doing something because of it.
I think I saw it.
Coincidentally, some of it's right.
When we first, you know, you hear autism, and of course I did all the online research to scare you to pieces, and you know, one of the things that probably hit me the hardest was that he's not supposed to be a kid who likes affection. He's not supposed to be a kid who's going to put out affection, and of course that's not true, but you know, what did we know at the time? So I think then, and it's in both of our nature, that we thought we could love it out of him, which is probably one of the best things that we ever did.
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm going to marry somebody.
Yeah.
Eloise.
Eloise? You've got a lot of contenders, though, for who you might
Yes,
marry.
I do.
Who else might you marry?
She's the only one I'm going to marry.
Oh, yeah?
I hope.
And as I said many years ago, I want him to date. I think that forms you. It informs everything in your life. You know, getting your heart broken, breaking a heart, confidence, insecurity, everything's informed by dating. And I really want him to do that. And to me, that's a typical behavior.
Just that, I don't know, I mean, he's just such a cool kid. It's just, we are amazed every day at some of the stuff that he says and does, and feel very, I guess, honored, privileged to be his parents.
Well, what if Mommy asks you to eat broccoli? What will you do?
I would eat it, but I don't like it.
Okay.
It just tastes like, because I don't like eating trees, and that looks like a tree.
That's true. You don't like eating trees?
It looks like a small tree, like this big a tree.
Yeah.
That's one thing that autism has done for us. If I just don't know that if you don't go through this, that you, I mean, I was never someone who lived in the present very well. I tend to look to the future a lot, always planning what's next, and boy, he helps me to live in the present, because you just have to. You have to appreciate every little thing.
Part of me wants him to forget that he ever even had therapy, just to grow up and make memories, make friends, and yeah, be successful in life.
Perfect. Now pull the other one in. You did it.
Design is escape.
It's not a death sentence. A lot of joy and growth, and when you find the fun, it's probably bigger than it ever would have been with a typical kid, because you work so hard for it. And that's about it, I think.
Can you take this off?
Yeah.
Makeup.
Temperamental stock.
Nailed it.
Currently, in the United States, 1 in 88 children is affected by autism. 1 in 88 means something different when your child is the one. Recovery is possible. Hi, I'm Shannon Penrod, host of Autism Live, an online show about autism broadcast by CARD, the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. I'm also the mother of a child with autism. my beautiful son, Jem. You know our old joke? Guess what?
Chicken butt.
Chicken butt. So we're going to take the chickens. But things weren't always so easy. I remember when Jem was first diagnosed with autism. I used to lay awake at night in bed and pray for someone or something that could help us to get our child back. My prayers were answered by Dr. Doreen Grampichet and the Center for Autism and Related Disorders. CARD treats autism and other related disorders using the principles of ABA, Applied Behavior Analysis, which is the only scientifically proven effective treatment for autism. It is also recommended by the American Academy of Pediatrics and the U.S. Surgeon General. About a year after we started treatment with CARD, we were able to see tremendous improvement, and we got our child back.
What grade are you in?
Second.
You are a smart cookie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like school?
Yeah.
Do you have any good friends?
Yeah, Oscar.
Oscar is your best friend?
Yeah.
And my child is just one of thousands to benefit from CARD ABA therapy. Across the nation and around the world, children are making amazing progress and being given the keys to unlock their full potential.
Recovery from autism is absolutely a possibility. We've been recovering children for over 20 years. It's just a matter of identifying the child's medical needs, understanding the child's sensory issues, and then teaching the child all of the skills they need in order to function normally.
We know there's hope for autism. Autism is treatable and recovery from autism is possible. Welcome back to Autism Live. We hope that you enjoyed all those wonderful clips for those wonderful interviews throughout the year. But look who I found. It's the fabulous Dina Kimmel from We Rock the Spectrum Kids Gyms. We're so thrilled that you're here with us this morning.
Thank you.
This is our last show of the year.
No, I didn't know that.
We saved the best for last.
Goodness. I feel honored. Thank you.
Oh, please. We're loving that we're here with you and talking about the things that you do and all the wonderfulness. We also are going to be joined by a very special guest in just a few minutes, a wonderful singer who is singing the theme song to We Rock the Spectrum. You even have a music video. So Carly's going to be here very soon, but we want to take just a couple of seconds with you all on your own because we love you so much.
Oh, thank you.
And to mention, we're talking about it all week long, but you are hosting a very special event for us on Sunday, and we're so grateful to you on so many different levels. But so at the We Rock the Spectrum gym in Tarzana, which was the gym that started it all, the first of the many thousands of gyms to come, right? You're hosting a Sensitive Santa event that we're doing in conjunction with you and with CARD and with Skills and Autism Care and Treatment Today, and My Brother Rocks the Spectrum, the charity that We Rock the Spectrum is involved in. And it's an event that's sort of taken on a life of its own, has it not?
We spoke 5 days ago and you said only it's half full. And all of a sudden yesterday we're getting phone calls and saying there's a waiting list.
Yes.
I mean, really, I had to reach out to you. I said, there must be something wrong, like a computer glitch.
No.
And what do we have, 20 or 30 kids every hour from 9 to 2? I mean, this is, I have to tell you, the Sensitive Santa thing started last year, in My We Rocks. One of my owners, Dr. Agnesa Papazian in Northridge did one. And it was so amazing that Bill Handel, KFI, had me on the radio. It was in the paper. It was so moving and empowering for our special needs children and their parents. It was, oh my gosh, it was, it's really truly an experience, and I'm sure you've experienced it yourself, but the fact that they can be in this safe environment, it's not the mall, it's not, the craziness around them, they can have a sensory, play, and we could put the Santa tucked away, in a little corner to where they can feel safe, is miraculous. I mean,
it is miraculous, and you're making it possible for us to do that. We have paired with, as I said, many organizations, but also here on Autism Live, we have, in the month of December, we always do our Festival of Toys where we review toys. And in the course of that, toy manufacturers send us toys so that we can demo them. We reach out to them. I handpicked all the toys this year and said, this is why this toy is good. And I called the toy manufacturers and got them on the phone and said, did you know that this toy is really good for this? And some of them already knew. They're smart that way, like Leapfrog. Whew, so smart that way. But so they send us a couple to demo on the show because it makes it easier. And then we said to them, and we're also doing this event. And they said, well, let us send extra toys. So I have to take you on the tour of the Santa's Village.
I walked by packed with toys.
It is moved out of my office too. It's taking up a couple of cubicles as well. The wrapping starts right after the show today. They're good quality toys to give to our kids. And they're across a range. So we have some stuff for little kids.
Mm-hmm.
We've got stuff for those kids in between. We've got stuff for teens. So we've got an array. So very exciting. Again, that's happening this Sunday from 9 to 2 at the We Rock the Spectrum Kids Gym on Krebs. It's on the corner of Krebs and Ventura Boulevard. It's in Tarzana. And Dean and I are both going to be there. And Santa's going to be there too, which is a really cool thing. And the gifts will be there as well. There are no more tickets. Now, and when I say tickets, people go, oh, is there a cost? It's completely free. But we ask that people register. Those tickets have all been taken. We have asked that people get on the waiting list. We will let you know if there is an opportunity for you to get the full experience. But we do have more toys than what the ticket situation is. So for a certain number of people on the wait list, for a certain number, we will guarantee them that there will be a toy for them. Past that number, we can't guarantee that.
I'm going to make sure, Shannon. So what we're going to do at We Rock is we're going to make sure that any child that's there past what you guys have is going to get a toy from our rock shop.
Look at
so
her.
I'm very, very excited. You know, like I said, this is a life-changing experience and for us parents. And I would love to read, if it's okay, an example of, this is a post from a parent. We Rock the Spectrum in New York, Buffalo, New York. They had their sensitive Santa. And the owner reached out and said, I've never had, in the 4 months I've been open, such an emotional day to where I cried from the beginning of opening until the end. So she posted this.
I've
so
got
I have
the
to tell
tissues
you.
ready.
You got the tissues, you're ready?
I'm ready.
So this is from a mom, Nicole, in Buffalo, New York. And she wrote, for the first time in at least 5 years, Liam had his picture taken with Santa Claus and Leo the dog. To many parents and children, this is no big deal. But to a child with autism, I'm getting chills already, it is a very big deal. At first, I didn't think it would happen, but a few of Santa's helpers worked their magic as I sat that one out. Magic as I sat that one out. I watched them talk to him, play with him, and finally coax him into the room. This was patient Santa. One-on-one, no other distractions, no rushing, no other children, just Liam. As he walked into the room and after a couple of minutes playing with Leo, a therapy dog, he walked up to Santa. I burst into tears. I never thought it would be possible for him to experience this, but he did. I can't thank those who helped enough, especially Jessica Sills, the owner of We Rock the Spectrum in Buffalo South Towns. They made this possible for us and 30 other families. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. May God bless you all and keep doing what you're doing because it does make a difference. You make a difference. Oh, look at
wonderful. I know. It's like,
This is one of many, but I mean, I can't begin to tell you how excited I am about Sunday. And the
I
fact
am
that
too.
I'm excited that you reached out to me. You're kidding me? This is amazing.
I'm so excited and thrilled and in deep, deep gratitude for you because, I called her and she was like, yes. And I hadn't even asked anything yet. Yes, because that's just how you roll. So I understand that Carly is here.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about meeting her. And I've seen the music video. In fact, we're going to debut it here on the show. We're going to take a break and go to the music video. And then we're going to have Carly here with us so that you guys can meet her and we can talk to her about what it's like being the superstar face of We Rock the Spectrum gyms.
She is.
So take a look. Here is the music video, We Rock the Spectrum.
We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We're all unique in our own special way. We Rock is a place where we all come to play. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. Come to a place that loves who you are, supports you and nurtures you with wide open arms. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We'll climb and we'll swing and we'll jump to the stars. Fly on the zip line and across the monkey bars. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. Yeah. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum.
What is autism? What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
What is autism?
I've been asking myself that for a very, very long time.
Let me think about that one.
Trying to, just,
Jeez. Let me think. Oh man, that's a rough one. Yes.
autism,
Autism is a neurological disorder that affects many of our kids in different ways.
It's a learning disability that affects the cognitive functions of the brain.
A lot of people have the misconception that it's a disability, and it's really not.
I look at it as like a special gift.
When one person thinks differently from another.
It's an opportunity for everyone to learn to understand someone that's a little different than them. Autism is the ability to educate.
They're given so much talent in different areas.
To me, autism means a chance to be with and be around people you really care about. Autism is beautiful.
It's a way of seeing the world differently.
It's always unique, totally intelligent, and sometimes mysterious.
Happiness that comes out of my son's hard work.
It's a movement. Unpredictable.
That's right.
Awesome. Love. The field I want to work in. Laughter, fun, joy. Autism is beautiful to me.
I want you to remember these 3 words. There is hope.
So funny. Welcome back to Autism Live. We have to start with my horrible bad because the clip that I sent, you sent a clip, but of course whatever I send supersedes, and I didn't realize we sent different clips. So that was not the music video. We're going to see if we can get the music video to come up, but I sent the 50th, but it had the song play. 50th. See, I'm forward thinking because you will have a 50th party. It was the 5-year anniversary party, and it did have the song, but that is not the music video. And it also said that how many locations you had, which couldn't be more wrong because it was from
31, and that was in September, and now here we are a month and a half later, and we have 43. So
and there you have it, because they're springing up all over the place as they should, which brings me to my next thing, that if you want to have your own We Rock the Spectrum gym, to have a franchise, you need to contact Dina. And I have said this to her, I think I've said it before on the show, if she had had those a couple of years earlier, well, we wouldn't be doing Autism Live because my family would have a We Rock.
Wow.
We would, and I mean, I'm still like thinking, okay, do we have enough time that we could? Honestly, it's like something that enters my. I would do that. I would do that. That's a smart business for you guys to do with your family while you're going through an autism intervention. Where do they go if they want to do a franchise?
They go to our website at www.wrtsfranchise.com.
Okay. Okay, and Kelby does have the music video now, so we go to the next break because Kelby is awesome that way and takes care of my mistakes. But how can we have sat here all this time and ignored that we have this beautiful, talented, young, gorgeous woman here with us? Carly Moreno is with us. You just saw her a little bit singing in that video, but you have not seen the music video yet. But Carly is here with us, and welcome to Autism Live.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
You've gone through horrible holiday traffic to be here with us, and we thank you for being here. But we have to start with, how did you meet this beautiful, talented young woman?
I'll tell you, I believe in meant to be, that's for sure. But there I was working a birthday party at my We-Rock. I'd heard that a friend of Dana, who works for corporate and has her own gym in Agora, that this little girl who was on the spectrum was going to have this amazing person come down and play music. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go down there. I want to check it out. So all of a sudden, Carly showed up with her father and mother, who, father's her manager, and I just think that's dynamite. I didn't know that at the time, but I just thought, okay, we've got this beautiful, beautiful young woman. Oh my gosh, let's hear this. So there she is. She goes on the gym floor with her guitar, and all these little girls circle around, and they're sitting, and she starts playing. Well, I was going to tell you a bit about my age, but let's just say that hearing her voice, I didn't know at the time I was standing next to her mother, but hearing her voice, I didn't even realize, but I started crying. The tears were coming down. And I looked at her and I go, is that your daughter? Because her mother looks like her sister, let's just say. Okay. Beautiful all around. And she goes, yeah. And I said, I haven't had anyone move me like this since Nora Jones. Since Nora Jones, 20 years ago, first played. And she goes, she was singing Nora Jones when she was 5. It's like her inspiration. I went, I really started crying. Started crying. And then, of course, I started talking with her mother and father, found out, that their manager, and I said, I'm taking her with me. Wherever I go, she's coming with me. That's it. I mean, and that's how I am, and that's how I feel like we are as autism mommies, and me as a businesswoman, I go with my gut. I go with my gut, I go with my heart. I don't always go with this. I have to go with what's inside. And that's because of what we do, in this world. So she's already, she sang at the Walk for Autism, a year ago. She sang at this past walk. So we've known each other now for, it's almost 2 years.
Wow.
And we just got back from the walk in Orange County, where she performed live for the first time.
We were hanging out bubbles, so I couldn't come and watch, but we were listening and going, this is amazing.
Wow, that was the debut. So that was the debut of We Rock the Spectrum. Of course, Carly is a singer-songwriter and has beautiful music. I'm just thrilled to have her out there for We Rock the Spectrum and representing our first song. And she's the vocalist and guitarist on our new CD, which is coming out at the end of the month. But we just launched the song, and the kids love it. The adults love it. I mean, you could see in just even that 5-year anniversary video.
It's so catchy.
Everyone,
and you've got a beautiful voice. So we have to start at the beginning. You're not allowed to ask people our age, but we can at your age. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
And you're just, you have a light about you.
Oh, thank you.
And I can understand why all the little girls wanted to crowd around. And of course, I'm sure the little boys want to crowd around too. I'm sure. And probably the older boys too. Let's be honest about that. So 20 years old, you're a recording artist. Who wrote the We Rock the Spectrum song?
A speech pathologist.
Okay.
Yes, a speech pathologist. He's on the CD. His name is Joe Rothstein. He's amazing. Yeah. So he wrote the lyrics. But he goes, catchy song. But he goes, I don't sing. But he approached me really just wanting to do classes with me. I said, I want a song. And he goes, okay, I'll do that. And that's how it evolved. And Carly put her own flair on it. I mean, I love the lyrics, but I just right away when I got it, I went, oh, I have to get Carly. I have to get her, because she plays acoustic.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And when you came to that birthday party, had you had much experience with a group of kids that were on the autism spectrum? Was that your first party that was like that, or had you done other things like that?
No, it was my first one, but it was so awesome. All the kids were so amazing. They were so cute, and them just singing along with my songs. It was just such a cool opportunity. And just to meet everyone, and Dina, she's the most amazing, go-getter. She's just, wow. So I'm just happy to be a part of their team now, and just, it's amazing. It's been an amazing experience.
It's a good team to be a part of.
Definitely.
She's amazing, but
she's at the beginning of her career.
But you've got a light about you.
Thank
I'm
you.
pretty good at seeing that kind of stuff. You have a light about you.
Thanks.
So I think we should look at the video.
I'm excited. I'd love to. I'm very proud of it. Like I said, this is gonna be the first of many that she'll be singing for We Rock. But like I said, her and herself, she's got amazing music and soulful. And I don't know if you saw at the Walk for Autism, she sings the We Rock song, her soulful music, and there, as her set is done, what does she do? She breaks out in prayer. And there's her mom and her aunt going, oh, go Carly, you go for it. You just put it out there, honey, you put it out there. And she did. It was just, we were all bawling. It was beautiful. So this is a soulful young woman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that about her. So let's take a look and let everybody else see the video. Let's get the right music video. Here we go.
Is a place where we all come to play. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. Come to a place that loves who you are, supports you and nurtures you with wide open arms. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We'll climb and we'll swing and we'll jump to the stars. Fly on the zip line and across the monkey bars. The gym for all kids, that's where our heart is. We rock the spectrum. Yeah. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum. We rock the spectrum.
Welcome back to Autism Live. We got the right video. That's the music video. And it was amazing and such a wonderful tune and a catchy tune. Everybody's going to be singing it now. It's going to be one of those things. And it mentioned there that you can get the song on iTunes. Where else it went?
iTunes, Amazon, everywhere. What's the other one, Carly?
No.
It actually is
on
Spotify? Yeah, it's on Spotify too.
Okay, great. So you can get that and play that with your kiddos. They'll love that and enjoy that. But you also have the CD. The CD is available.
The CD is available. It'll be next week. We just ordered it. As you saw, the last shot there is the cover of it, and that's Carly. And then of course that's my son there with the earphones on. And really, for me, music has brought. My son also has, besides autism, has dysfluency, stuttering disorder. So for him, this is where I might get emotional. Yeah. Music is where he's perfect.
That's amazing.
So after the birthday party, where I met Carly, I went home, I told the kids about it, and I had a couple, videos of her. And so Gabriel and Sophia just became obsessed and were YouTubing Carly and all of her beautiful music. And then once the song came out, I'll be playing it, and all of a sudden I'll stop it for something. He'll go, "Mommy!" Scream across the house, stopping that song. It's my song. I'm singing it." And it's so beautiful. And our kiddos, listen, not all kids love music, but a great deal of our kiddos on the spectrum, that's their outlet. For Gabriel, he plays piano. Oh. The young man who had dyspraxia so bad, who I called him a young man.
Yeah, that's good that you did that. Yes.
He's such an old soul. Do you know he looked at me? Looked at me this morning in the car. He said, "Mommy, I'm never gonna let you go.
Wow. Are you kidding?
I'm never
Is that
gonna
what
let you
every
go.
mom wants to hear their son?
Sweetest
I
thing
told him
ever.
I was going on Autism Live, and Carly was going with me, and he goes, Mommy, just know I'm never gonna let you go. I said, oh my
Stop.
goodness.
So cute.
Well, music though is that outlet, especially for our
Yes.
kiddos with the stuttering. You've seen it. The piano, singing, relaxes the vocal cords, right? I mean, it's truly
It's
a
a
dream.
wonderful, wonderful thing.
And my daughter also.
So when they started, looking for you on YouTube, tell us what kinds of things will people find when they go and look at you on YouTube?
So I do have a couple of my own like originals up on my YouTube page, but I do lots of covers too. And it's mostly just like acoustic, pretty mellow stuff. I mean, it changes up every once in a while, but yeah, just me like sit in front of the camera, playing some music.
She's got professional videos up there too. She's very, very modest, this young woman, and that's why, you know what, she's gonna go far. And I'm really impressed with her parents as well. I'll tell you, they have such an incredible family, because let's face it, anyone can grab this, beautiful, talented artist and take her to, a place where it's not going to be about her vision. And she's very true to her vision, which is spiritual and soulful music, about love, about life. And that's why it's, it grabs you. It goes inside and it grabs you. So that's what We Rock does. And to see her singing it live the weekend before last was my dream.
It was a really
It was
so much
amazing
fun.
thing. An amazing, amazing thing. I know that you got a lot of things that you're going to do in this life. Who are your inspirations?
Oh, musically?
Yes.
Let's see. Well, like she was talking about, Norah Jones has always been an inspiration to me. I grew up listening to Norah Jones in my grandma's car, so I just grew up listening to her, and I love her.
You got a cool grandma.
Right? Oh, we would bump. We would bump to Norah Jones. No, because I still listen to Norah. She's amazing. Just some other people like Taylor Swift. I wouldn't necessarily say that my music is exactly like hers, but just like her whole work ethic and like everything that she stands for, and she always stays true to herself. I feel like she's a big inspiration to me as well. So I mean, there's definitely a few artists out there, but.
Wonderful. She's got that really unique sort of what they call like a brandy soaked voice that you have. That
like Alicia Keys. I told her, I said, Norah Jones and Alicia Keys. I said, that's it. I said, look out. Sorry, Carly's 20 and she's coming your way.
That's right.
And there's nothing stopping her now.
And she's as cute as you can be, which, it's not even about that anymore. It isn't, but it doesn't hurt. So you're just absolutely adorable.
Yeah, and what's about Carly too, listen also, as you and I know, with our kiddos, on the spectrum, it's also the aura that we give off. So you can be this beautiful person and just be loud and boisterous, and, our kids will go, oh, no. No, she has this calmness about her, to where, well, if you look in the 5-year anniversary video, my son was glued to her.
Yes.
Okay, it was ridiculous. So she just has this way about her. And I've seen very few people who can do that. Usually we have to work really hard, so to have that kind of effect on our kiddos on the spectrum with the sensory, issues that we have. But no, the kids come to her. And that's the key. She just lays back, she does what she does, which is amazing, her music, and the kids, are drawn to her.
There's something really unique about our kids on the spectrum that I believe it's that they sense. It's like they have a BS meter.
Oh yeah.
Right? They sense.
I love it. That's a great way to put it.
They sense what's real and true. It's one of the reasons why our kids tend to do really well with animals, because animals can't lie, and really our kids on the spectrum have to be taught how to lie.
Exactly
right?
Wow.
So they can sense when somebody's full of BS, and they are drawn to people who are genuine and real. And my mother used to say that if somebody came to the door and our dog barked particularly at them, she could tell there was something nefarious, right? Because the dog could sense something. But when you see people that our kids flock to, often it is because they are so pure of heart and they're not busy with all the other extreme stuff. And you walked in and I said you have a light about you. You really do. So remarkable, and a beautiful singing voice too.
Thank
so
you
the two
so
things
much.
together, she got the whole package going.
She does. She has. I'm telling you. Now you see why I said I'm taking you with me wherever I go. I know she's going to take off, on her own in other directions. But the fact that I get to have her be a part of We Rock and our first single, and hopefully, more to come out there. The kids definitely want them. I feel very honored. I feel proud, and I think it's a great experience for her coming into this field of music and to realize that I'm sure she had no idea that she would reach children, and you know, as well as the whole world out there. So the fact that I feel like as an artist, to be able to reach children and adults, as you saw all of us on there dancing to this great song, I think it's a true gift.
And vice versa. I feel so honored and blessed to be able to work with you and just be a part of that.
Very cool. And it looked like you were having fun in the gym too.
Yes.
Because I think you know, one of the things doing the Sensitive Santa event on Sunday and talking about the fact that we were doing it at a We Rock the Spectrum gym, I didn't realize, some people were like, now tell me, I've seen those and I've seen a little bit, but tell me about what is that about? And I said, oh, you're going to go and have a good time. And somebody said, now is it just for kids with autism? And I said, my friend, no.
It's so fun.
It's like a fun place, go and have a birthday party. It's just that it makes sure to include our kids.
That's exactly right.
And they went, oh, that's so good to know. And they're excited about being there on Sunday to see what it's like. Because we all need a place for all of our kids to go and have a good time and get their yayas out.
Together.
Right?
Together.
They have all that energy, and if we don't give them a place to put it, then, you know, it goes into other things, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. They don't, you know, they don't sleep well, their schoolwork's affected, friendships are affected, and, you know, as you said, the event might online say that it's sold out, but we want people to know also that we're setting up, you know, a big re-rock tent in the back, and we're going to have arts and crafts out there, so there'll be plenty of room. So anyone who comes will get a toy, you know, even though, like I said, the Santa spots might be sold out, but everyone will have, you know, a toy, be able to be a part of it.
I'm so looking forward to it, and it's been so nice to meet you and to hear this song, and I can't wait to hear the rest of your songs. So amazing. What place can people go to? What's your YouTube page?
So if you just go to my website, actually, all my links are on there. It's carlymarino.com.
Well, that's simple.
Yeah, simple.
But Carly with a K.
Carly with a K, so Karly, and then Moreno.
Okay, .com, and then you'll be able to hear
all
this beautiful woman sing and see all those different things. And for We Rock, you guys have different websites and different Facebook pages for each and every one of your gyms in the different locations. But I especially want to make sure that we say the website again for franchising, because honestly, I think it's the smartest thing that anybody can do.
Thank you. You can see Carly there too. It's WRTSfranchise.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and it shows all of our locations there. That's what's great.
Yeah.
And gives you an idea of what we're about. I mean, listen, my husband always says, so, you know, you became a franchisor also to make a living, right? And I went, I guess not. You know, I'm just so, the fact that, you know, I can take my son to over 13 different states now. I mean, I couldn't travel with my son before, but knowing that there's 3 re-rocks in Texas now and 5 in Florida, I mean, I can bring him so many different places.
And even you're going into Europe now as well, aren't you? Okay.
Wow.
So
very exciting. Yes, we just became worldwide. We actually, this is the first time, we're launching it publicly.
Oh,
Shannon, I love it.
No, you should have lied and said no.
I love this. This is the debut. Yes, we have now franchised in the whole EU. So we've got 29 countries in Canada.
All right.
And
you heard it first on Autism Live, breaking news.
Exactly.
Me and my big fat mouth.
No, I love it. I'm thrilled.
Oh, you can kill me later when we're on.
Although when my franchise developer in his phone is ringing nonstop off the hook.
They can blame me.
That's exactly right.
I'll take the blame. We love you. We love everything that you're doing, and we love your gyms. And before we go, can we just say what? Because you're also now branching out into gyms that are for kids that are a little bit older as well. You have a location in Glendale.
Glendale, We Rock the Spectrum. You know, they've got this surfboard, cool, you know, table to sit at and, you know, eat. And then they've got this awesome music room. And there, like, you'll see the treadmills for, say, maybe ages 3 to 9. And then they've got the adult-size treadmill and trampoline. Cool. So for them, and you know what? It's not just their We Rock. You know, it used to be just theirs, but theirs locally. You got to check it out. If you've got,
I'm coming during this break, this holiday break. I'm bringing Jem.
You will love it. And then they have the service dog there, okay? That is amazing. And so now these re-rocks that are opening now, such incredible people are coming on board. Let's face it, being a new franchisor, okay, I was learning as I went, you know, learn as I go process. Now, of course, you know, I'm surrounded by an amazing team. We're only as good as you know, the people you have, you know, around you. And our vetting process is much different. So the people that are coming coming on board now see the vision that it's not just for the up to 10-year-olds, that it's for the adults as well. Because all the swings hold over 250 pounds.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. You're amazing. You're doing amazing work in our community.
So are you.
And Carly, thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
a new member in our community and being on
So
board.
excited.
We welcome you with open arms.
Thank you so much.
You're one of us now. I thank you both. Happy holidays and Happy New Year to you and all of yours. And we're together on Sunday.
Yes.
All right, we are going to take a break. We are going to come back and close out the show. So last show of the year, stick with us.
Say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Hey, welcome back to Autism Live. We heard you. Everybody wants
macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it allergy free. But here's what's the crazy part of this macaroni and cheese. It's actually healthy.
And it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes really good.
That's the most important part.
So we're gonna start, we got our water boiling. There's so many variations on the pasta. We're using today a corn pasta. We can verify with the manufacturer that we have a GMO-free product. So let's go ahead and put that in there.
Ooh,
and if you don't mind, stir that up for me, my friend.
Now it's sticking a little bit to the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
We maybe add a little more high heat oil and spread that around again. One thing you gotta know about gluten-free pasta, if you overcook this, it becomes mush. Let's move this guy over to the other burner so you can see what I'm doing. And now we're gonna start with the old macaroni and cheese sauce. What's great is there's a lot of choices for, different soups. And the way that I look at soups, and again, please follow the recipe on your screen right now. I don't like to measure very often. But what I like to use is a creamy butternut squash soup. So this soup is great because it adds a lot of flavor to the dish, but also gives people another serving of vegetables. With kids, we don't want to over season. Maybe with the adults, we can season some for the kids first, pull it out, serve them, and then add a little more, garlic powder or onion powder or other types of things into your dish. So the next most important thing on this recipe is we're gonna add in a thickener and the faux cheese. Now some people like their sauce really thick, so you just add in more cornstarch or more arrowroot, so that's not a big deal. How's that doing? You think it's ready?
I think it's done.
Okay, so why don't we switch? I'll take that, you do that.
Okay.
And I'm going to strain this bad boy here. Here, let me turn that off.
Okay.
Or we're going to cause trouble again.
Trouble in Lisa's kitchen.
Yeah, no.
That's another show.
Don't, yeah, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get this all strained. It's a good consistency. So I'm going to check to make sure our pasta is cooked. So really, you just want to make sure, just like any pasta, it's a little bit squeezy, a little bit. Nice. Dude, good job.
Yay.
We're good.
Looks yummy.
So even though the cheese is not totally melted, it's okay, don't panic. What's important is that you're gonna love this recipe once you eat it. What I enjoy most about this recipe is that it smells good, but this stuff is amazing. So if you don't mind, I'm going to serve you some up and you can maybe blow a little bit on it so you don't burn your mouth. Sorry, I'm once a mom, always a mom.
Just like wait till I can.
I know, right?
But I can't wait. I'm excited.
So I'm going to give a shot of this too, but
oh my gosh, that is so good.
This is the ultimate comfort food. So
oh, it's so
isn't
good.
it good?
And I'm not just saying that. It is really good. It literally tastes like something our kids would really like, and that sweetness is really, really, really good.
So the bonus for us is that when we're serving this to our kids, they're actually getting a full serving of vegetables in this. So instead of just eating a bunch of carbs and worthless calories, you're actually getting some good stuff in this. And we'll be back next time. I hope you join us again here on Autism Live. We're really loving the feedback, and if you have additional feedback, here's how you get it to us. You can send it to us via email at autismlive@gmail.com. On Facebook, facebook.com/autismlive. And also there's thousands of recipes waiting for you to discover them with pictures and different things on the Taka website. So you can hit Taka on the web, takanow.org, and we'll be back. Hopefully we'll get to do this again.
I had so much fun.
Maybe we'll have a little wine, but you got to join us next time. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
Bye, guys. We're going to keep eating.
You say howdy, we say hi. Let's get rowdy, let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Welcome back to Autism Live. This is our last show of the year, and in the last hour of this program, this live show, we received the devastating news that a good friend of the show, Ian Croft, who was the editor-in-chief of Autism World magazine, he was on the show several times, an amazing man who was just trying desperately to help the autism community, that he passed away this morning. We are devastated. I can't even tell you to hear that. We're so sorry for his family. He was an amazing dad. If you know Ian's story, he had gone through things in his life as a parent that no parent should ever have to go through. I'm devastated to think of his children and his lovely wife. We want to send our condolences. And we'd love to show you a clip of Ian earlier this year that we did on World Autism Awareness Day when he and I had an opportunity to talk. Take a look. Here is Ian Croft. We want to talk a little bit first about a wonderful magazine that you are involved with. Tell our viewers about this fabulous, fabulous publication.
The publication is called Autism World magazine, which has been going now for just over 2 years. It's a digital magazine, so it's online, on iPad, on Android. It was monthly, now we've made it 2 monthly just to give me a break in editing. And what we try and do within the magazine is to share experience from across the world. If something happens in one country or in one small town that is working well for one family, then we offer the experience, the lives of one people that seem to be working for one family may work for another anywhere in the world. And that's the whole philosophy of the magazine.
And so Kelby's got some covers from some past magazines that he's going to put up while we're talking. But tell us about, I mean, we're looking at one right now that I love. The cover's got a robot on it. You've covered things such as sibling issues. What are some of the topics that you've covered in particular that you've heard from your viewers that just really resonates with them?
What really resonates is we cover the entire spectrum, and what I hear so much from families is 2 points really, is the sense of struggle of when you first hear your diagnosis, and those feelings of blame, that you blame yourself, or you're searching around after diagnosis and reading from diagnosis, of trying to find answers, and you're literally bombarded. You Google autism and you're blown away by how many answers come flying back within seconds. So where do you start? So part of our magazine is to help guide those families from across the world of ideas and systems that's working for one family, we hope can work for another. The other great question that we keep getting more and more is parents of children with teens, early teens, who are worried about what will happen when their child turns 18. There's so little research in this area, so little planning going on in this area. And families are very worried about what will happen once their child finishes whatever schooling they're doing. And we spend a lot of time discussing and talking about options in the lead up to 18 plus.
It's overwhelming, isn't it? I've been having so many conversations lately talking about these two very different places in time for an autism parent, and yet I'm seeing as we get, I mean, my son's only 11, but we're starting, the fear wheel has started to turn towards what happens after 18, that these two periods of time when you're just diagnosed, and what here in the States, what they refer to as the cliff, when your child gets to 18 or 22, whenever those sort of sponsored activities run out, and that you've run off the cliff, and what happens after that. They would seem like they don't have all that much to do with each other, but I'm seeing that the fear and the overwhelm at both those periods of time is very related for me. Do you find that's true from your readers?
Yes, we get a lot of feedback in that, a lot of questions in that. Every parent I ever talk with always talks about, and I think it's interesting the word cliff that you use, that they in effect fall off the cliff at the point of diagnosis, and when the big A word is given to them by whoever's given the diagnosis, and in effect you're told to just go out, that's it, it's all over, when it's not. But that's in effect the story that keeps coming back from around the world, and in effect you're flung out into the great ocean of autism to fend for yourself when there is a journey that you start, but there are so many on this journey that could share and help you in some way along your autism journey, because they've traveled it or because they're on that journey. And then for those that are 18 or approaching 18, there is just so little. I'm presently working with a family who live close to me here in Australia, where their son is 18, he's gone into year 13 at school, so he gets an extra year at school. And the family have devised a micro business for their son. So he is going to be recycling paper. Wow. And he'll learn to do this all the way through his final year in school. The school will assist him in learning to do that. And his mum has been developing products made from recycled paper. The first one was briquettes for barbecues that her son can make. Her son's favourite film was Wall-E, the recycling robot. So right. he has an understanding through that film of what he's doing. It's something that he gets, and through this next year in transition from leaving school to, in effect, starting out in the big wide world, he'll have a business from home that will be supported all through these final years, so he gets into the routine of using his recycling press 3 times a week to recycle his paper. So he'll collect his paper, recycle his paper, and then make products from that. And this is something that he can do, he understands, he has a certain passion towards, but also it could well be a small business for him that may expand into others that he knows, and others with differing abilities in his neighborhood will come on board.
Well, so inspirational. And, you know, I think it's one of the things that we've talked about is that how much jobs are needed on every front, and yet it has to be specific of tailoring something that is of interest to somebody and something that they have an affinity and a talent for. How wonderful that his family is able to do that. I wondered, Ian, if you could tell our viewers how they can get Autism World magazine and you know, what the process is to be able to get that digital publication.
Yep. We try to make it as simple as possible to read, to access on whatever medium you have. So if you have an iPad, if you have an Android, an iPhone, even if you're just online, there are so many ways that we've put the publication together so you can read it. The easiest system and the easiest name just to give you is autismworldmagazine.com, autismworldmagazine.com, and from there you'll have options to download our app for iPad or iPhone, and almost 17,000 people around the world have done that. From within the app, you can then access the magazine for free via your iPad or iPhone. The same with Android. It's also digitally online. Again, that's all linked through that autismworldmagazine.com site that you can either access or download onto any computer system anywhere in the world. We also have email lists, so we can also email the magazine to you. It's shared on Facebook, it's embedded into sites, and it's all free. We believe that sharing information, sharing best practice, all those small little fixes that work anywhere in the world, then we should share that information freely to all that want it, wherever they are.
And it's a beautiful publication. It's got gorgeous pictures and wonderful content that I think anyone would find interesting and exciting to read. So we really want to encourage people to check out. Welcome back. And that was Ian Croft. Our hugest condolences go out to him and to his family. He will absolutely be remembered, and it's made a tremendous, tremendous difference. And I know that that would please him. We are at the end of an amazing year, and I want to thank all of you for having been with us. I'm going to ask you for one holiday favor, that over the next 2.5 weeks before we're back on the air, first of all, look at our Periscope, because my son and I are going to try to Periscope at least 1 minute every day. Well, let's see if I even, if I even get started on that tomorrow. We're going to show you some gift wrapping that we're doing for Sensitive Santa tomorrow, but we're going to try to do that. We'll see. Be patient with me. But also, we're at the end of the year, and it's been a record-breaking year for us in views, but we want to ask all of you, we have a benchmark that we were supposed to get to that we're not there. We broke records, but we didn't get to there. So I want to ask all of you to please take your favorite video and share it, and do that often. We need some extra views here to the end of the year. I will miss you. I will be on Facebook on and off throughout this little hiatus that we'll be on. When we come back, we should have a better picture than ever for you. We have new equipment that is coming, so that we'll be up better. autism-live 3.0 is what I think we're at. So it is going to be a really exciting January. We've got all kinds of amazing things planned for you. Plus, we're planning on doing a whole tech focus through the month of February. There's exciting stuff coming down the pike. And we're going to do some more driving interviews. You guys have asked for it. I know somebody asked today, do that with Stephen Shore. The next time he's in town, I'm going to ask him to get in a car with me. We'll see. In any case, I hope that you all have wonderful holidays, that you remember to edit and take it easy and only do the things that will make you happy and make your family happy, and not try to do more than that. It's easy to get caught up in all of it, and that you will have fabulous New Year's. And I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. I'll see you back here in January. Until then, please give your kiddos a hug from me, and one for you as well. Bye-bye for now.